Hi, everyone. My name is Ayanna Carrington. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully this works out well. I'm Ayanna Carrington, and I'm the owner and founder of a company called Your Project Board. We specialize in virtual assistant services for small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs. Our focuses are mostly on executive assistants, admin assistants, project management, and most importantly, social media, which is what I'm here to talk about today in a way, talking about maintaining your digital relevancy, especially in a time when we have to promote our businesses from home. So are we good to go? Can you guys drop a comment in the chat so I can know that you can see me and I can get started? Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Karma. Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen. Okay, so I just introduced myself. We're going to jump right into it. So usually when we talk about social media and growing an audience online, one of the things that people don't really seem to understand is kind of like what it is. And what you're really looking at is something called digital relevancy. It's the content and the platforms and the processes that you put together as a business, an entrepreneur, or a brand to make sure that you have meaning and relevance among your intended audience on a digital medium. So the goal of it is to always enhance your customer experience so that they always come back to you for resources, information to buy, whatever it is your end goal is when you're engaging with your intended audience. And the reason why I always like to start with this is because when we're retained for social media, people don't tend to think about this part. They kind of just know that, hey, we want social media, we want to grow an audience, but they don't think about all of the behind the scenes work that you need to think about before you start posting on digital platforms. So I wanted to start this off with an example because I'm one of those people that learns through examples, learns through watching other people. And for this particular presentation, my team and I, we put together Tina Baker. Tina Baker runs a bakery and she calls it Tina Baker's Shop. She decided that she wanted to promote her business through Instagram, which is one of my favorite online platforms for promoting my business. Her Instagram account is called Tina Bakes. But she set it up and all of that stuff, but she didn't really do it the right way. There's like a lot of problems wrong with her Instagram account. For example, if she's running a business about vegan desserts, right? Because it says here, Tina Baker's Shop selling vegan desserts. Why is it that all we see on her page are pictures of animals celebrating their birthdays or having parties or lounging, right? None of her content has anything to do with what her business is about, really, except for maybe the picture of the dogs over here. The picture of the dogs look like they're celebrating at a birthday party. Also, she has a link to maybe her website. It may work, it may not. We're going to make Tina look really bad today and say that her website goes to like a Wix landing page. So it doesn't even take anyone to a site where they could learn more about her business or order or any of that stuff. Also, she hasn't set it up where people can click on a link and contact her by phone or by email or any of that stuff. So her Instagram account is not the best example. So something else that's wrong with Tina is that when people try to message her, because you can message on these platforms, you can send DMs, Tina doesn't answer them back, right? So she's not necessarily engaging in the right methods used to stay digitally relevant and grow your audience. See, like, hi, I'd love to place an order at your shop. What are your hours? And she doesn't even respond. So these are my favorite methods, which I want Tina to employ for maintaining digital relevancy. These top 3 methods are the business basics, right? Who is your audience? If you go into business or your brand or anything, I hope that you know who your audience is. I hope you know who you're talking to and all of that stuff. Are they even digital, right? Because you could have a whole business that's catered to an audience that's not online. Unfortunately, COVID for us happened. So a lot of us had to get online. A lot of businesses had to go online and build up infrastructure and do all of that and meet their audience online. But some businesses don't cater to people who necessarily are online. And is your back end in place? The next tip is digital profiles and tailored content. Do you have your profile set up? If they're set up, are they set up correctly? And is the content on those digital profiles relevant to what your audience even wants to see? And then my favorite, stay hip and informed. Are you paying attention to current trends in your industry? And are you looking at data to inform your next steps in creating content and making decisions on how to stay digitally relevant? So the business basics. Who is your specific audience? What problem do they have? How does your business provide a solution to that problem? So take, for example, Amy Orefo, PC. She's a solopreneur running a business. Her audience are entertainers, content creators. What problem do they usually have? They're usually looking for legal advice, looking over contracts that have to do with deals with large companies or publishing or something like that. And how does she provide a solution? And how does her business provide that solution? She's an attorney. So she provides them guidance, general counsel, reviews their contracts, and all of that stuff. Where does her audience spend most of their time? Because her audience tends to be on the younger side, her audience is going to be online. So she creates content and makes sure all of her stuff is set up so that she can meet her audience where they are. Where do they go to find help and resources? Probably Google, right? They, artists, entertainers, if they need to look for resources online, they're going to go to Google if they can't go within the industry to get those answers. Tina, who is our example that we're using, her audience, they spend their time probably in the kitchen, probably wanting to learn new recipes, probably looking online for new dessert shops to check out and all of that stuff. And so they're probably already going to be online, and that's where she should be to meet them. Back end logistics. This is like the nitty gritty work in the back end. These are all of the processes that will push someone from being just in your audience to being a potential consumer. So before you even create online profiles, a website, all of that stuff, you have to think of the common questions people will ask you about your business. Tina, who runs her bakery, people are probably going to ask her, what are your hours? What days are you open? What flavors do you have in cupcakes? Do you sell vegan red velvet cake? Those are the questions that she should know. Her audience will answer her if they're going to message her through Instagram. What happens if they send a message on Instagram? How do you respond when someone is asking you, hey, what are the hours? Do you say, hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. Our hours are 9 to 5 Eastern, or our hours are 8 to 6 Central, whatever it is that you're going to say. What happens if they join a mailing list? Like if your audience or potential client goes online and clicks to join your mailing list, what happens next? Do they get notified? Do they get a thank you note? Do they get an email that says, oh, let us know your birthday so you can come in and get 5% off your vegan dessert? And just overall, what is your customer service like online? One of the things that we do for our clients is we create a fact document with all of that information in it, because we're serving online as the primary like person to engage with your potential clients. So we are ultimately customer service representatives. The next point, your digital profiles and tailored content. If you are going to be online, you should always have a place, I like to call it your digital resume. And that can be a website and or a landing page. Your website, always www. whatever it is, or a landing page. If you guys use Instagram, you've probably heard of stuff like Linktree or Link Bio, which is the one that we use. We use both of those for our clients. Those are just places where people can go and find a whole bunch of resources you're sharing or links to things that you're doing. They're just really great to have. They're kind of serving as makeshift web pages now if people don't want to pay for hosting and website maintenance. Does that have the right information, right? If someone clicks on something, does it take them to the right place? Does it have your right social media pages? Does it say what your services are? All of that. Does it make it easy to contact you, which is what, even in a digital space, people love to do. They still like to be able to pick up a phone and call you or email you and get you. Or now these days, text you, because we get text messages too. And are they getting a quick response? Now more than ever, it is important that you respond to your potential customers at a speedy rate. You don't want them to have the time to go to another business and be serviced in the same space and same industry. Social media profiles. Have the right ones for your audience. And this one I cannot stress enough. Sometimes we get clients who want to have a social media profile that does not necessarily make sense for their audience. And it's completely fine. It's just talking out the whole back end of it, right? It's, if your audience is 50 to 75, are they on Pinterest? Are they on Tumblr? Are they on WhatsApp? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Just talking that out, because they're probably not on all of these social media platforms, and you don't want to waste any time or resources creating content and putting it on the wrong profiles. I know that there's quite a few businesses that make bank by having their content on Pinterest, for example. But some of our clients who are lawyers, it probably doesn't fit for them to have their content on Pinterest, just because of who their audience is and the type of work that they do. Are your profiles fully built out? Tina's profile wasn't built out. She didn't have a full bio in there. She didn't have the contact us links. She didn't even have the right content on there. So it's probably not fully built out. Does it make it easy to reach you? Clearly it didn't. Someone sent her a message and she was ghost on them, so it didn't work. And are they getting a quick response? In Tina's case, no, they're not. Email marketing platform. Email marketing is like a big thing now. I've been inundated with tons of emails from different people and businesses and brands, etc. It's important to have, because sometimes your audience wants to know a little bit more than what they can get on social media. So going back to Tina, if she had an email marketing platform, does it have the right information? Does it have her contact, her address in the footer? Is it properly branded for her audience? Does it match the branding on all her other digital? Is it capturing the right information she needs from her audience, right? Like if she wants to sell discounts for birthdays, she's probably going to want to capture her audience's actual birth date, so she can send them an email saying, hey, we know today's your birthday. Here's 25% off. Come in and get your free vegan dessert. And are you sharing the right content, and are they consistently hearing from you? Again, the same thing. You want to make sure that your audience knows to rely on you and when you are sending stuff out. So if you say we're going to send emails out every Tuesday with a new vegan dessert recipe to try, then that's when you should send it out. Because when it comes to social media and digital media, it's all about relationship building. And to build a good relationship, you need to be consistent. Content for your audience. You want to create content that is for them, and you want it to be easily digestible and accessible. So for example, going back to our favorite girl, Tina's up there posting stuff about puppies and stuff. While I love puppies, Tina, I'm not coming to you about puppies. I want to learn about how to make a vegan red velvet cake, okay? So can you please create content for me where I get the recipe that says, hey, this is how you make a vegan red velvet cake. And when you put up that content, make sure that it's easy to understand and it's accessible. Again, I say that we work with some attorneys. Sometimes the information they have to share can be so convoluted. We have to break it all the way down so that the entertainers, the content creators, or whoever it may be, can easily understand it and say, oh, I got that. You made it easy for me to understand. Now I'm going to come to you for more information. It's just all about making that process easier for them, so they know that they can come back to you or book a consult or visit you in store or do whatever next steps you want them to do. So for example, what you can see from here is we have two different profiles that we manage. One's Warner Law, another's Modern Faith. And you can see just from their Instagram profiles that they're creating content for their audiences and that we're making it both digestible and accessible for those audiences. The next tip is stay hip and informed. So one of the things that people kind of forget to do is to consistently be informing their audience about something new, but also taking into account what's happening around them and creating content about that. So if Tina is, if a new dessert comes out, lemon pepper cupcakes, Atlanta style lemon pepper cupcakes comes out and it's a new industry trend, Tina may want to create content about that. She may want to even create her own vegan dessert about that. And she may want to post content about that. So it's just all about taking what's happening around you and incorporating it, because people, when something new happens, they're always fascinated about it. They want to learn more about it. They want to talk about it. They want to be in on the conversation. And so as you can see on the screen, I have 2 examples. August was National Black Business Month, and your project board featured 6 businesses, highlighted 6 businesses that were Black-owned businesses. And that's just paying attention to the industry, because we're a business and we support businesses, paying attention to the industry and saying, this is content we need to create. Another one we have here is the whole entanglement conversation with Jada and Will. We saw so many different businesses incorporate that moment in time into their content. And that's just like, you know, staying on top of current events and incorporating them. Other things we've seen since like the start of COVID is maybe the Savage Challenge, the Don't Rush Challenge, stuff like that, that you can incorporate into your content. And so how do you stay on top of your trends? I'm always on social media. My assistants are always on social media. We're always looking at stuff online, so we always know what content is new and happening. But you don't have to do that. Something else you can do is employ social listening tools. Those are tools that basically like mine the internet to see what people are talking about. You can set up keywords on like something like Google Alerts where about, you know, special keywords relevant to your industry, and it can pull a whole bunch of articles and news stories for you so you can post about them. And then make sure that you stay on top of your data and analytics. You don't want to create content that isn't landing at all, right? So when you create a content and you push it out and you say, oh, wow, this content got 12 likes. This actually did better than the last post we did. That's something you want to pay attention to, because it will inform your decisions on the next types of content you have to create. And then I snuck in one last tip that a lot of people always forget, especially when they're looking at content from a business brand side. And that is engage, engage, engage. You are not on social media just to throw stuff at people and then walk away. You're on social media because you are being social, right? You want to interact with people. You want to observe what other people are doing. You want to be a part of the conversation. And that goes for any digital platform as well, right? You want to be in conversation. So when you create your profiles, you want to make sure that you're engaging with similar profiles. That can be if you're on Pinterest, Medium, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You want to follow similar profiles, and you also want to follow people who are in your audience, right? If you were to go on Twitter, or if Tina was to go on Twitter, I would tell Tina, make sure that you are searching the hashtag vegan desserts, right? And see who is tweeting about that. And you can go through and follow all of those people and then engage with them, talk to them, like their content, share their content, repost their content, what have you. You want to make sure, like with your newsletter and with your posting, that you're connecting and communicating consistently, right? You want to stay on a schedule, make sure that people are getting accustomed to your presence online. And then one thing that I kind of just touched on was curate content from other pages, right? People like it when you share content from their pages. That means you're paying attention. That means you're probably sharing it to your own audience, which will probably help them as far as their numbers, right? So always find people whose content you like and reshare it, and, you know, even add a comment on it or what have you, just to make sure that you're continuing to grow your audience. It benefits both you and the people you're sharing the content from. So now we're back at Miss Tina Baker. Tina Baker is still selling her vegan desserts. She's got her website link in there. It's no longer going to a Wix landing page. It's actually built out. As you can see, she must have employed our tips, because now she has 1,307 followers, where before I think she only had like 70. She's now posting content relevant to her audience and her industry. She's changed her IG story highlights so that it's about desserts. And when people reach out to her via DM, hi, I'd love to place an order at your shop. What are your hours? She's actually responding. So she's employing our tips here a bit. And that is it. So if you need help with your social or digital processes at all, you can go ahead and reach out to me. Again, I'm Ayanna Carrington. My email is ayanna@yourprojectboard.com. The number located on this, I do answer, so you can definitely call, is 404-445-3727. And if you want links to any resources, please visit link.bio/yourprojectboard, spelled BRD. We have, at my company, we have free consultations for people who are seeking services, but there's a small fee for people who need help with their digital workflows, or if they need help creating social media templates or any platform templates. We do design services as well. And you can also find some free resources here. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.